All right, Maggie, sorry for the late response. I've been trying to do this video and keep it short, and I'm still working on this. But one thing that I noticed as you were doing these edits is that, let's get here. Okay, so your overall editing looks pretty good. I'm seeing one or a couple of errors, like there's one right here, and that would just be, it looks like you've done this, but just copy and pasting it so that it's continuous or that it makes sense. Okay, I did that one because that's this drainage area, but you have these two streams at 70 and 48 values going in. Those around about equal 118. It's going to be different because you have then exactly the sum because you're having other cells drain into that area. Okay, so overall, good editing process. However, I believe that you're doing it a little bit in the wrong order. So you have all of your clusters in here, and you've got a drainage area 25. Okay, that's fine, and I get that you got that from running the braid handler like I instructed you to do. However, I've never done this before besides like doing spatial joins in two different locations. And what I'm seeing is that's totally fine to do. However, you need to do your spatial join before you do all of your hand editing. Okay, that's totally fine to go through braid handler, everything like that is fine, but you need to do the spatial join before then. And when I say spatial join, it looks like you've done that spatial join. However, what you're doing is you need to make sure that these fields equal the drainage area fields that the tool has calculated equal the old one before you do your edits. Okay, so I'm right here just making these two equal to one another. Okay, and you can see that it's fixed in those areas, that our clusters are fixed. However, all the work that you did down here is not fixed, and that's order of operations that you need to do the next time. So, you know, the other way that you could do it is to select. So we're going to do a second way of doing this, and this is probably what I would do if I were you going forward with this, is that you can select all the cluster IDs, and you want to select all the ones that the tool has done here. Okay, it's going to be a little convoluted, but so I've selected all of the ones the tool has selected. However, I need to also select all the ones that were selected in the old output. Okay, and this is because there's segments that are you have to do control with it. So anyway, what I'm going to do is select all the ones from the old, and all the ones from the new, and you could you could do it that way. There might be some issues with that. So ultimately, what I would do to fix everything is do your spatial join before you do your edits. Okay, and again, spatial join plus the field calculator. So you're doing it for this one, you're doing it for the is main stem, is multi-channel, and cluster ID. Okay, first off, that's what it is. Another thing that I noticed, and this is a bummer, you're not going to love this, but I noticed this is your project folder right here, and following the documentation, there is a land use raster that needs to be calculated, and you don't have that in your anthropogenic inputs. Oh, excuse me. And I think where your confusion was I sent you all these inputs, right? The canals, the network, the new roads layer, the valley bottom, drainage area. This basically speeds up the process. Your DEM, your historic vegetation, your existing vegetation. The existing vegetation serves two purposes. It serves the purpose for existing vegetation. So let me go into here. As you're building your project, it serves the existing vegetation right here. The historic, you got right. Drainage network, you got right. DM, you got right. Land use raster, okay? That is this existing vegetation layer. It's the EVT, okay? So you're going to put the EVT raster, vegetation raster, this one, in two locations, the land use and the existing vegetation. Everything else you did correctly, and those are the changes that you need to make. So unfortunately, it will take you rerunning the model from the beginning because you need that land use raster. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news. So take homes, EVT is used for land use and vegetation, and your editing was looking good, but do your spatial join before you do your edits so you can have those fluid. Okay. All right, hope this helps.